All right, so trying to pick up where we left off yesterday. Great. Oh, that does not feel good. Why? Okay. Oh, no, no, no. That's the kind of stuff that you just... Obviously, this ain't going as planned. Okay, so guys, I did get these other ones broke loose off camera. Best I remember, 5 of these are all the same. Then there's one that's got an extra like tab on the side to hook up wire harnesses. And I've always known it to go right here at the passenger front. That's not where I wanted that to go. And bolts are covered. Should get one more pretty good spill once I get the filter broke loose here. I guess it wasn't that bad. All right, we're gonna pause her there. So next thing we're gonna do, there is a, hold on, let me get some light on there. Screw in there that is a 7mm. Yeah, you guys can let me know the next time you use a 7mm, but make sure you have a 7mm socket before you get into this. There it is. Okay. Again, there's that 7mm bolt that goes right in the center there. It is crucial to line this up when you're putting it back in. It typically is going to sit like this. You can see the notches on the valve body conductor plate. When you get it out, you will see what I'm talking about. But that is the seal. Obviously it was leaking. I had a pretty extensive amount of oil around here, which I'll be cleaning up before I'm done. I'll check out that bolt pattern real quick and I will be back. Okay, I just want to show you all a couple things. So your bolts you're taking loose, this is on the front side of the transmission, just so y'all can see. You're going to be taking loose this, 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 this. This is on the back side. This, 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 and this. Also, when going back together, if you look up in here, this right here is a shift selector in the valve body, and it lines up with this pin. Outside here is where your shift selector hooks up to it, and this is your detent that goes against your park pawl. As you can see, there's teeth there that represents, you know, your park, reverse, neutral, etc. Anyways, make sure that this is lined up when reinstalling. It's very important that you do have that lined up. It does have a little bit of a bevel cut there to help align it, but still very important to make sure that's lined up. Just so you know, I did go through here and crack all these bolts loose off camera just to make sure they were coming off okay, and we'll go from there. Extra support would probably be easier if you had 2 people available. I don't know if that's going to be... Managed not to get those in the wall. I don't know if that's going to be any more readily available to do than what I have. And as you can see, the whole valve body's dropping out. Always like to spend just a minute making sure all this is cleaned up. Try to use a lint-free rag. It is crucial on transmissions that everything is clean. It is a hydraulic circuit. But there's that detent cable, or the shifter alignment that I was talking about a minute ago, and I know I'm miscalling this, and I'm sure somebody will comment and correct me. Make sure this housing is good and clean. That's where your seal goes through on the outside. All right, we'll spend a little bit more time off camera cleaning that up. And I apologize if I'm bouncing everywhere. Here is the valve body on my bench, and I'll start taking off the conductor plate in a minute. All right, guys, I don't have a mount or anything for this, so I'm just going to try to give a quick rundown, but you are going to have to take each one of these off. There is just a little bit of wiggling, and they come off. I did sort of pop them off before showing this. And then you've got bolts here, here, and here. Make sure you keep up with which solenoids are here. As many as you AMG guys know, this is where the blue top solenoids would go if you had the blue tops. I think the SRTs also use the blue top solenoid. I would like to someday make that purchase and put those in there, but make sure you keep up with these. And I've got a diagram somewhere on where all these go, or what one's what. I'll try to put a link of that in here as we go. I do want to make, mention one more thing. If you notice, these are made much like a leaf spring. It's designed to keep tension on these solenoids. Make sure when putting them back, you do keep that up. I'm actually going to do the best I can at trying to record this while I'm doing this so you guys can see it. If you will, give me a second. I'll try to get you rigged up here. There we go. Wanted to be a little stubborn. Okay. A little bit of metal wear through this transmission, not real bad. I was told when I bought this transmission for this car that it had fairly low miles. Of course, you guys probably don't know a lot about this car. It's a 2002, and I'll set this down right over here. It's a 2002 Mercedes C230K. My wife had a couple different SUVs, and they were all V8 powered. Of course, driving around in an SUV that sounds similar to a muscle car in the way it growls. I told her, I said, boy, would I like to one day build me a fun little Mercedes with one of these V8s in it. So I picked up a 2002. Technically the car is called the C230K. It's a coupe. Coupes are fairly rare in America. Anyways, they all came with a supercharged 4-cylinder. I just stuck the 5-liter V8 in it. It did call for quite a few stuff to swap it. Anyhow, it was a lot of fun, and still is a lot of fun. But this is just maintenance that you have to do on any Mercedes, not necessarily that it's specific to a motor swap. Guys, somebody's gonna correct me. One of these is your temp sensor, the other one's input speed. That was what I was getting some problems with. I can tell right now that this is definitely, it's supposed to be like on a spring platform and supposed to keep some tension. You can tell it's not, there's no tension. So that's probably the main contributor to my problem in the first place. However, what's known to happen is if you look, these wires, there's actually circuitry going through here, much like a computer circuit board. And what happens is over time, this gets dry and it cracks. And at that point, the wire that's in there is fairly small and flimsy. You can actually see what they're running for wire right there. It just gets compromised. It will crack, and then sometimes you'll get a signal, sometimes you don't. And that's a lot of times what causes the problems that you have with this. But it's fairly common fix on a 722.6. I would love to say that it's just a Mercedes problem and you guys Dodge guys won't have to worry about it, but as you know, it's the same transmission. Anyways, we'll get this out of the way and start installing new. Alright, so here is the new. And I know a lot of you guys are going to eat me up in the comments and say, that looks like one of those Chinese ones that you find on Amazon. Guess what? It is. Also, there's some screens in here. You might want to take a look at those. Sometimes it's worth cleaning those out while you're in here. You just take a blue shop towel, clean those out. I also clean the solenoids before putting those back in, just in case they got any buildup on them. It's a transmission. Everything's about having clean, fresh fluid and flowing where it's supposed to. Like I said, I'm just trying to make sure that everything in here is the way it's supposed to. I did have a son that had a 98 or 99 SLK that he bought. He bought it from a kid that had attempted to replace this conductor plate, thinking that was all of his problems. It was reading bad solenoid. He did not have a computer to clean or clear the code off of it once he replaced the conductor plate. And I thought I may get out really lucky. That wasn't so much the case. I did have to change the valve body out. I could have got away with just changing the solenoid. Ultimately, it was just the solenoid that was his problem. Seems like you do need to pay attention over here. I'm going to line this up loosely over here. There's something over here I believe you have to pay attention to as you're going down. Yeah, there's... right there. I got to get this piece of plastic out. That did break, and that does go to this right here. So bear with me, guys. Let me try to get that out of there. All right, guys, sorry about that. That was actually fairly quick to do. I just took a, I don't know if you can see that, took a sheetrock screw. It actually didn't catch in it. Just lightly put it in it and pried and dragged it right up. No big deal. It's out of there. Okay, like I said, that was this right here. Hold on a second. This is not much orifice that you're working with here. And then it bleeds through these. Obviously, if these O-rings are smashed or chipped or anything, that's a huge deal too. These seem to be moving around. They're not completely flattened. I'm going to keep it in there. I'm not going to worry about those. See, I think it said 2 click pounds. Click. Yeah, that feels pretty good. Okay, this cover just sort of goes back on here. They click sort of down, much like that. This one, same thing. I did spend a minute with those, cleaning them up earlier. And that's pretty much it, guys. That's the inside part. If you guys look, that's where that goes. There's that. We're just losing fluid everywhere. I was trying to let you guys see what was going on here, just so you could grasp it. Anyways, not a hard job. Not a hard job. It is messy. It does take some time. Anyways, we'll get it over to the bench here. I'm sorry, to the car here, and show that. I'm going to do this from the driver's side this time because, as I said, you have to make sure this detent for the shifter is lined up and where it's supposed to be. And the rest is just sort of nestles in where it's supposed to. And we're lined up there. We're going to get 2 bolts in here just to start it in and get somewhere with it. Then I'm gonna go get my gun. In case any of you guys did want to know, the motor in this is out of a 2005 E500. All right, we are lined up here. Not tightening these up with the gun, just FYI. They are going in just to make some a little bit more time. I really should be knocking on wood, but I've never had a bolt snap off in a transmission. But I can imagine that's just not a fun day. You just went from 0 to 100 real quick. All right, let's get those hand tightened in. I'm probably going to get shamed to death for this. Do I know the torque spec? No. Should I? Probably so. Do I feel like after years of mechanicking, both by myself, with my dad, all that stuff through the years, that I know to stop on this? Yes. Okay, went through one, so I'm going to go ahead and go through a second time. Make sure that we're sort of feeling where we're supposed to be. By the way, I did not pretty up for the camera this morning. That's not my style. Okay. Try to give you guys a quick overview real quick of where we're at. So as you can see, the detent spring is back lined up. The shift selector valve is lined back up. Everything down in here looks good. We're good all the way around. Don't think I ever showed it before. Let me get my light. As I was telling you before, and I need to spend just a minute cleaning that, this is what you're looking at, that terminal goes into from the front. And I will spend a minute cleaning that before I just shove that in there. Okay. I'll give you guys a quick little shot of that real quick. As you can see, it's not perfect, but did get a lot of that grime off of there. I feel confident with it. One more thing, guys, make sure you have this lined up because first of all, you don't want to bend those pins. Second of all, I've seen a ton of people try to blame the manufacturer for the bolt snapping. It's not the manufacturer's fault. It's not supposed to draw it in that hard. It's just supposed to keep it secure. But you do have to make these pins line up. Otherwise, you're not in the right spot. And you can actually see them in there. Whoops. You can actually see them when they're lining up in the right spot through the hole. And you can also see that square tab lining up with its spot too. There we go. It's your job to get it in there and seated, not the screws. 7mm or not, is only supposed to be used to keep it snug, keep the O-rings from losing their tension, just generally keeping it from leaking. Believe it or not, guys, that does not need to be tight. Snug, but not tight. All you're doing is keeping an O-ring at seat. Okay, this is going to go back up here, and it lines up only one way too. You have to, again on this, make sure you're pushing in. Here, I'll show you guys this just so you know. When you're taking this loose, you actually pull downwards. If you look, it's trying to pull it in. But you have to, and I will see. I'm gonna see if you can see it while I'm doing this. Maybe from here. Oh, well, it just doesn't, I don't think I've got the space to get you in here. But if you push in on this, you can see it's trying to turn. So just push in with your two fingers. Put your thumb upwards and you can see it comes all the way to the lock position. Fairly easy, and that's it. That's all you should need in there, and it's done. Now, time to get our filter back on and our pan on, and we'll go from there. O-ring's already lubricated, nice. This clip right here is actually what helps hold this filter in place. And where does it line up at? Is it there? I think it is. There it is. That's where your filter goes. And pause you guys right there. I do have to put the gasket back on and the drain plug back in the pan. Pretty simple stuff. The gasket's actually like a U-shaped seal. It goes all the way around it. Fairly simple to put it on. I don't think you can put it on backwards. If I see anything I think you guys should note, I will stop and show you. All right, back on it. I've got 2 screws barely started in there. Just trying to keep it up there. As I said before, there is one excessive sized mount here. And I believe the whole purpose of that is just to help with, like if you have a wire harness that's coming through here, cooling lines, anything basically just to have a spot to tap into and get one more thing secured under here. I'm just trying to clean these up a little bit, not go crazy. You could, and I get it, some people really take some pride in that part of it. And it's not that I don't like something clean, but let's be honest, folks. You're going to go down the road tomorrow in it, and any road grime's going to end up on it. It's not a chromed out underpan that you put on a mirror table at car meet. I built this to have fun on the road, not so much be a show car. And I'll be honest, I think last time I did send this up with the impact. I don't think I'm going to do that this time. I would like to get the, I believe B&M makes a deep set pan for these now. I think they made it for the Jeep world, but when one side benefits, a lot of times all do. Although I've never had any cooling issues per se with it. It's just always been a good transmission. These have always been considered a pretty bulletproof transmission. To the point where when Mercedes switched over to the 7-speed, they kept the 5-speed behind the V12 twin turbo because it could handle the torque. By the way, I don't know if the Jeep guys or Dodge guys ever got a dipstick at all. I know some Mercedes guys didn't. You have to buy a tool, looks like this, and stick down in there. It's called a transmission test tool. If you will look on there, and I don't know if you guys can see it, but there are temperature markings on there to represent what full is, etc. And a lot of people say, well, how do you know when it stops? Well, on this one, you literally just make this bump the bottom of the pan. It literally will come down and you'll hear a, and that's it. And again, you follow up with this to know what to do. And guys, if you can wear gloves, I was earlier. It's a little aggravating for some things. but it's not the best for all of us. Anyhow, I'll give one more quick wipe over. Like I said, not a show car, but I would like for it to look like something. Take some pride in it. Just doesn't have to be perfect. I'll get my hand off of here. Well, time to clean up. I'll give you a quick overview. As I said, that's what's involved with it. And by the way, don't compliment these. They're all factory. I mean, keep in mind this car was never designed to have this motor in it. It literally had a 4-cylinder. The 4-cylinder only had this heat shielding that you see over here on the passenger side. The driver's side had nothing. I literally went to one of the junkyards, picked up the heat shielding from the V6 model, as like I said, these never came with a V8. The exhaust work isn't perfect, but it's there. Obviously the motor fits in the subframe like it should. There's also some custom brackets here that a lot of people probably would haul or ham at, or whatever you want to say. It does fit though, and it fits well. Also, I'm very aware the previous owner thought it'd be I guess, to order this side lower control arm for the passenger side too. Either that or they bought it at a junkyard, whatever. Anyways, I'm very aware this is not the right control arm for this side. It will be getting changed. Anyways, but that's where it's at right now.